We are going live. I'm going to record. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome,
Hello.
everybody. We've decided to go live right now to talk about our fireside chat class two, clairvoyance and clairaudience. So today we're going to be talking about ways to identify and develop both of those clairs.
Yeah, because they're both so different. I think a lot of people, especially me when I first started out on my spiritual journey, I used to think I had certain expectations of what my clairs were supposed to be and how they were supposed to function. And so I was like, oh, I'm not seeing a movie. Oh, I'm not hearing like full sentences in my head. I'm like, nope, nothing's working. Nope, I can't. I don't connect. It just doesn't work. It's not me. It's not for me. I'm not clairvoyant. I'm not clairaudient. I'm not psychic. I can't figure anything out. Right. That I spent a lot of time in that state for a long time and looking outside of myself. And then slowly I began to realize that my expectations were what was causing me my biggest pain point of not,
Mm,
because I'd been receiving messages this entire time. I
right.
just didn't
Yeah.
know. I had to learn how to understand how my body, how my channel was perceiving those messages. And so from that perspective, it kind of flipped the script for me once I decided to put the fear down and say, you know what? I've been receiving this entire time since I was a child. I just never was taught how to listen to it. And so once I took that step back, I was like, oh, so I don't see movies. I don't hear sentences because I'm not supposed to. That's not how it comes in for me. For other people, it might, but that's not how it works for me. And I don't know if you've experienced anything like that, Michelle.
Yeah. So for me, I've always had a really vivid imagination. And that's one of the so my clairvoyance is very strong, fairly strong. So I see in my inner knowing. Those two are my
Mhm.
strongest clair. I would say my inner knowing came in first, and then my uh visions or clairvoyance. I see images, I see little, but they're so when people ask me, and this is again, right, we are sharing this because all of us are intuitive. All of us have
Mhm.
the ability, right? We have the ability to be psychics. We have the ability to be channelers and healers. All of us do. What becomes more dominant for us, it's a little different. And so all of us can have all five clairs or six clairs, but what becomes more dominant, right? And so one of the things is to what comes more naturally
Yeah.
to you. And oftentimes, what comes naturally to you often gets like ignored or downplayed. So, an example, like when you ask that question, right? For me, clairvoyance, because I have a vivid imagination. So for a long time, I just assumed I was imagining things. Because I would see things in my head, I would see visions, and I would just assume that it's, oh, I'm making it up. I'm making shit up. You always hear people say that. No, my clients always say that. I'm not sure if I'm making this up. And I'm like, girl, you are not. Because oftentimes when me and my client are plugged in, we see the same
The
thing.
same thing.
Or yeah, or they would see something before I said it. And then you're like, oh my God, I just saw it before you even said it. And I was like, exactly. So that is for me, like I would say the biggest thing. It's because for a long time I just assumed I was making things up. But we all again have that ability. And one of the example I like to tell people, do you want to do that with the apple? So I like to do this with apple. When my clients are like, oh, I don't know if I can see, I always like to
Mhm.
tell them, if you close your eyes, I want you now to imagine an apple. Everybody knows how to do that.
Mhm.
Everybody knows what it looks like. And then I ask them, what color is the apple? And then they're always like, oh, of course, they think logically. But I'm like, the color could be green, the color could be brown, the color could be whatever color. And then I ask them, I want you to visualize turning the apple around. Can you see the texture? And then
Mhm.
everyone is always like, yeah, yes, I can. And I'm like, there you go. You have that ability. And they're like, well, I'm imagining it. It's like, yes, but it starts with that. It starts with that. And so, Dawn, I know you have a similar exercise. Do you want to share your exercise?
Yeah, so one of the things, because it was really hard for me to get out of my own way in regards to developing my clairs, because Claire clairaudience and clairvoyance were probably the hardest clairs for me to identify
Mm,
in my personal channel because the expectations I had were so strong, right? Because I watched TV, I listened to the radio, and I was expecting the transmissions to be very similar to that. But because they're not for me, and they may be for some people, and if that's the case, I'm so envious. But and for my channel, it doesn't come across that way. I get blips. I will get like a fast snippet, like one frame of something, and I'll have time to identify one piece that pops up in that frame. And I'll be like, oh, that's weird. I just saw an elephant, right? What does that mean? And then I'll bring that up in the conversation and be like, oh, okay, that's what's trying to come through. And so that's it. Learning how to tune into your channel, how it's coming across to you is the hardest part. And like what you were saying, I love what you were saying with the apple, because immediately I was like, oh, yep, there I went. Mine was gold. I could see the little dots on it when I was
you
spinning
see,
it
you have
around. And
gold, right? And
I was like,
yeah.
oh yeah, look, I can totally see that. I can totally see it. But it's not like a tangible thing. It's not like looking at the TV. It's you go into your mind's eye, which is your third eye, and it's displayed there in a completely different way. And so it's like, oh, okay. So the practice that I always like to use is envisioning myself leaving the house and going and starting up my car, because everybody can take a moment and close their eyes and sit back and go, okay, I'm going to visualize myself doing this activity. And what I like about this activity is because it triggers all of the clairs. You have
Yeah.
an opportunity to, because you feel it, you can feel the cold air as you go outside if it's cold where you're at. You can feel the seat of the car when you sit down. And then as you're doing that, you actually can say, okay, here's the door handle. I'm going to open the door. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to put the key in the ignition or push the button, depending upon the age of your car, whatever that is. And but there's a familiarity with it. Did I make up a word? But there's something very familiar about it because it's something that we do on a consistent basis. And so it's comfortable. So when you do that, pay attention to what you're experiencing as you're going through that, because that's how you can learn to identify what's coming in for you
Yeah.
specifically.
Yeah. And
So,
that exercise is really powerful, right? One of the other things with the
mhm,
car actually was something like
yeah.
I like to tell my clients or my students, right? The Reiki students,
Hmm.
our
Hmm.
Reiki students. But yeah, close your eyes, imagine a car or
Hmm.
imagine a vehicle. What is
Hmm.
that? And then
Hmm.
and then you're like, I'm using my imagination, but yes, but that's one of the ways that they are communicating to you. And so I said, your car, well, what you see is completely different from what I see. We are all seeing different things. And then
Hmm.
we tune in. So an example, like I like to do, I am exactly like you, Don. I don't see things like a movie. And so lots of it, I would say Hollywood. I'm going to blame Hollywood for that and the media for that, right? Because when you see like on television, psychics, right? You're like, oh, I can see this and I can see that. I see this
Yeah.
person, they describe the person. Well, not everybody has that ability. Some people are very good at describing details. For me, it's like exactly a udon. It's almost like a silhouette. So I
Yeah.
see it in flash, and then my other clairs kicked in. Immediately, my inner knowing, or sometimes I will hear, they will tell me what it is, and I will inner
Hmm.
know right away what it is, and or I will feel into the energy. What is this energy? And it all happens. So initially, it took me a while. Like by while, I mean like couple of minutes and going like, and being frustrated. Now, because we are practiced and we practice it multiple times, it comes like
Hmm.
this, one after another, bang, 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 within a few seconds, right? So don't get frustrated. This is a message for people. Don't get frustrated. Practice it. It's okay. When I first started, they will just give me one word, they flash, and then they're gone for hours. So once you get more practice into it, let it flow. But yeah, so it's exactly the same as Don. Like you see it, and then I'm like, who is this? What is this? But then when you ask for details or like a symbol, right? And the other thing I was guided to share this with you is that oftentimes people will say, I don't know if I'm making this up because, I just read a book. I just watched a
Right.
television program. This is a way your guides are also giving you information
Mhm.
because of all the books you have read in your life, why that one book? And why that one sentence from that book? Of all the television programs you have seen, why that one specific television program? So your guides are using the tools you already have to show you. So
Yeah,
trust that. Yeah,
it's almost like a library of information because we all know different quotes from movies, right? And it's like, oh, someone says a specific, and you're like, oh, I know what movie that's from. I remember seeing it, that kind of thing. But spirit works in the same way because they'll either show you something or give you a message or give you a prompting that you will start and then be like, all of a sudden you'll piece it all together. And so it's not a running movie. It's picking up pieces of it and then letting the rest of it flow. One big
exactly.
thing that I get all the time are snippets of songs.
Uh,
I always get that. Always, always, always. I have songs stuck in my head all the time. And then it wasn't until I went to a retreat and someone mentioned that it's clairaudience. And I was like, oh, I never thought about that. And so once I started, I was like, oh, okay, so this is the song. This is the phrase that stuck in my head. But then I started going back and literally looking at the lyrics. And it was almost as if the piece that I needed would like vibrate or show in a brighter color or like almost stand up out of the page. And I'd be like, oh, that's what I'm supposed to get from this. Okay, cool. And it's kind of almost like a little bit of an Easter egg hunt for me sometimes. I'll get these random things that happen. Like yesterday, I saw um, I saw a kidney bean, and I'm like, okay, this is really weird. This is a kidney bean, and they said look it up, and I was like, okay, so we got to look this up later. And I went on and continued the session and continued what I needed to do, and then I was like, oh yeah, I was supposed to look it up, and then it was amazing because it tied directly in to what was transpiring during that session. And I was just like, oh my gosh, they're so magical. So, so yeah, so that's fun too.
yeah. So I'm replying to Ellen because she said, when things it comes and goes, sometimes it's
Mhm.
really fast. And then she gets angry when it goes away so quickly. It is kind of frustrating. It's happened to me before, especially when you're channeling and there's so much information, bam, 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 bam.
Mhm.
And so sometimes I'll be channeling, 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 and then I'm like, I just lose, like it's gone. And I would, if I'm in a session with somebody, right, I just very honestly tell them, I'm sorry, it's gone, but it will come back again. And then I'll just be like, give me a minute. Just let me go back and tune in and see if it's coming through. And then sometimes it doesn't want to come through anymore. And that's okay. I just tell the client, let's move on. And then we'll go and continue something else. And then it will show up again where I'm like, aha, because sometimes another piece needs to come in. So don't get angry when it goes away because it goes super fast, but it will come back again if you need it to, right? And so
Yeah.
continue to be okay with it. Just let it flow and just let it flow out. I love when you said it's just like a song playing in your head because
Mhm.
oftentimes I will hear people say that. They're like, well, I'm just making it up because it's a song I heard. So duh. But I'm like, no, this is exactly what the song has a specific meaning, and the song verse may have a certain frequency. And so
Yeah.
it's very unique to you. And so sometimes, again, if you see a movie, tune into that, right? Your other clairs, pick up on your other clairs, right?
Mhm.
You see a movie, feel into the image. I know feeling is very strong for a lot of people in our group, right? So feel into the image. What does the image make you feel? Is it sadness?
Yeah.
Is it joy? And then just feel into it. And then for some of us, our inner knowing kicks in, because that's for me.
Mhm.
I feel into it. I look at that image, and then inner knowing kicks in. This is the reason why it's showing up. But And so know that we all your clairs work in tandem. But what I'm getting is that for some of you watching this, on replay or watching this right now, as you're developing your clairs, you're always second guessing yourself. So don't do that. And just
Let it
let
be
it
what it
flow.
is. Yeah, let it be what it
Exactly.
is.
Yes.
And
Don't
so
second guess yourself. Yeah.
yeah, and when you were saying feeling into, like when you're getting something like a movie, feeling into it, I also heard that it's really good to understand what you were experiencing at the time that came through, because it's going to be one of those three things. It's going to be something that's coming through from the movie itself, something that you're feeling about how the movie made you feel, or an experience that you had that this is prompting you to remind you about. So give yourself a little grace and be patient with yourself, and don't edit the information that you're getting from spirit, especially when you're starting out, especially if you're doing something with another person, because the words that you use and how you describe it could prompt confirmation from your client or from the other person that you're practicing with, and you can glean additional information from the dialogue that you continue to have. So
Yeah.
yeah.
One of the things I would like to share is as you're working and developing your intuition, even for people who are already practitioners, right? Who are like, I got this down. To practice this could be really good. So you can sit right when you're meditating, can be really fast. You can ask your guides when you're plugged in, right? Asking your guides, and again, being told to share this, when we are in a meditative space, is very important to set sacred space. Protection is really important. So make sure when you're doing anything that's related to energy work, you have your circle of protection. You state your house first, use crystals, whatever to protect you. I like to call in my guides to protect me. I like to call in angels, Archangel Michael. I like to call in my dragons to protect me in that sacred space. And then what you can do is you can ask for a message and be very open to it as you develop your clairs. So if you're thinking, I want to develop my clairvoyance, ask for a message to be shown to you, revealed to you, and then you can wait. Sometimes it's radio silence. When I first started, it was radio silence every day. One word, one image, gone. I didn't even know what it meant. And so that's okay because you're developing this slowly. And then as you tune in more, you realize, oh, there actually more information that's coming
Yeah.
through. So ask your guides, and so you can ask a question like that. Or I like to tell people, if you want a specific answer, ask the universe to give you a sign, and you get to tell the universe how. And so I like to say, I would like to see because I'm more clairvoyant, this sign, and then it will show up in the world. If you want to practice hearing clairaudience, you will like to hear something, and then you'll be surprised. It's radio, commercial jingles, even something like your husband or friend or wife would walk into the room to say, you're like, wait a minute, I just asked for that sign and you just said it out of the blue. So that's the other thing. Like, hearing doesn't always have to be hearing from like spirit talking to you, because a lot of times people ask me that question, do you hear, like, does God talk to you? And I'm like, well, yes, but in different ways, right? He speaks to me in different ways. So be open to that, because it's what Don said, right? You may hear verses of the song, you turn on the radio, you hear that verse,
Mhm.
that song, it means something to you. These are all different ways your guides are communicating with you all the time.
Yes. That's awesome. And what I'm also hearing is that we're constantly getting information. We're constantly taking downloads of information, whether we're aware of it or not.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah,
revealed to us through different avenues, channels, experiences, dreams, etc. So just being open and getting curious and learning how to get inquisitive about the coincidences that are happening in your world, and tuning into it and understanding how your body, how your channel receives, because everybody's body is an antenna for information, right? We're just kind of like the antenna on the car. We're it's all about what frequency are we tuned into, what's coming into us, what station are we listening to, and as that information comes in, it's about allowing yourself to apply the correct filters
Mm,
to get a clearer message, right? Because sometimes when I am, in the car and I turn on the radio, my windows are down. I'm in the city and I hear all this other noise and there's all this distractions. And it's really hard for me to tune into what I need to tune into. But when I roll the windows up, I put my car in a more quiet state, I turn the volume up on the radio, then it's easier to receive information. So that analogy is the same way about your antenna itself and how you receive the information. So if you haven't grounded yourself and taken the time to set your sacred space, like Michelle
yeah,
was talking about, it's going to be very hard to discern. It's not that you're not receiving, because you are receiving. It's just that the barrage of information that's coming in is
yeah,
distracting your ability to actually hear, see, feel, know what that message may be.
yeah,
So,
yeah. No, I completely agree. It's the that filter. It's
mhm.
the trusting, because when we
Oh
trust
yeah.
ourselves, the filter it's clearer, the
Mhm.
connection is stronger versus when we don't trust ourselves. So one of the things that I would love for everyone who's watching the replay, and if you are still starting out and doubt, because that number one word I always hear, I'm not sure if I'm making this up, right? And then your rational mind kicks in, and then you're thinking, yeah, I heard this song, I saw this movie, da 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 da. Obviously, I encourage you, whenever you have that thought come up, just say, thank you. And then you can ignore it. Just say, thank you. We're not going to hate it. We're not going to try to repress it. We're just going to thank you for the information. And then we're just like, okay, let's see
Yeah.
what else comes in. And I encourage you, right? You practice, right? If you're saying, like, show me a message or show me a sign or give me a visual, and then just let it come, or like give me a feeling, let it come. One of the things that I like doing, and this could be doing of different things, is called to do is tarot cards are really, really good.
Mhm.
Like, or oracle cards, right? When I first started, I played a lot with oracle cards, but I didn't read the description. So I encourage you to do that. Don't read the description. It's hard, but trust me, don't read the description. I want you to kind of like look at this and then close your eyes and see if you can get an image. And maybe you don't, and that's okay. And then I want you to kind of like, you can even like tune into the card and be like, what is this card about? Or what is this message for me? What does it mean? And then I want you to just close your eyes and see what comes through, because the first thing that comes through is a dominant clear. So it's a dominant clair, and you might get more information that's coming through for you. And that's how you know, like, which of my clairs are more important, but also a way to kind of develop, because I always ask my guides to show me. And people often forget that, but I'm like, I would like to see an image, please. Please show me. And if they don't, then I'm like, okay, what do I need to do to clear it? They may tell me, sometimes they don't. And that's okay. For a long time, for a long time, the years, it was radio silence. But now I'm channeling all the time. So again, we're just getting more practice. For me, it was trusting myself, allowing the information to flow and not second guessing myself.
Yeah.
Then it all came in fast. And it's going to come in for all of you equally fast.
And that's awesome. And I just actually had a hit, and I think the reason why this came through is because they wanted me to describe what just happened. So, as you were talking, Michelle, I was like, oh yeah, taking a deep breath, just relaxing into it. And then I heard na 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 na
Because
na
you
na na
always hear songs. You
Batman,
you
right?
always hear
And
songs.
so
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like,
I love
oh,
it.
okay, Batman. And over on the side of my desk, I have a quote that says, whatever you do today, do it with the confidence of a 4-year-old in a Batman shirt. And I was like,
Ah!
Oh,
Hey,
right.
I
Because
get
I'm
it
like, okay,
now.
so I heard it, but the real message is doing it with a confidence. Fake it till you make it, but not really fake it till you make it. It's trusting yourself that you are receiving. And that's a shift in the mental. It's a shift in the mental.
Yeah,
It's like, um, it's not always radio silence. There's always something going on. I don't know if I've tuned my frequency in to receive it, or is it something that's going to come up later? And it's about
yeah,
learning how to play with it, right? And so not everything is always that fun, because that was a fun one. But it's a lot about allowing, giving yourself the grace, giving yourself permission.
yeah.
And they're also showing me journaling. So
Yeah,
when you
thank
put
you.
yourself into the
Yes,
meditative state,
yes,
to journal, because what we're trying to create for ourselves, especially when we're starting, is we want wins. We want proof that we've done this, because the more proof we have that we've done this, then we are likely to do it more and more and more.
yeah,
And so it's trusting that it's actually happening, but writing it down, whatever the quick message is, whatever the quick
yes,
vision is.
100% do that.
Yep.
That
And
was
then
what I
come
was getting
back
to.
in a week, come back in a month, and then look at and see what has unfolded for you. Because you're starting to build a repertoire of what the information that's coming in can mean for you, right? Just like the example of the Batman thing. It's a quote I look at all the time, especially when I'm self-doubting myself. I'm like, okay, have confidence, just
Yeah,
have confidence, breathe into it, shift that energy. I can do this, this is happening. And it's okay it's okay if I don't get it 100%. It's okay. Even if I get 50%, more information is still coming in. It's still coming in. So
I love when you said journal because that was exactly what I received. The message was keep a journal.
yeah.
And exactly like you, right? When you talk
Hmm.
about keep a journal, because you're writing to identify the different ways you are receiving messages. So
Yeah.
definitely do a journal. Have a journal where it's all about your own spiritual transformation and like write it down because the mind, right, wants to see evidence, is what Don said.
Yeah.
Wants to see when you flip it the 1 month from now and you're looking at all the things you're like, oh my God, I really did grow. This is really awesome. And then your mind feels, oh, I'm more confident. You feel more secure. So one of the things again when I said about Oracle cards, right? And I love playing with them is when you are developing, your skills, or it could be reading, read for yourself. Then you can keep a journal where you're like, what message is this? And then don't read the description, just feel into this, and then just write what you think the message is for you, and then read the description. And then you may realize sometimes it's very similar, or you may realize it's very different. And that's okay. Trust the one that's coming through for you and then develop it over time. And then you can write in your little journal, like, okay, how did you receive the information? You may say, I receive it by a vision, I receive it by feelings. And then over time, you may notice a pattern.
Yeah.
And then over time, you may notice you're adding more clairs. So
Well,
that's the
yeah.
other way.
And the details deepen as you go. So the first time I might see or hear something about Batman, and then the next time I go in, it's like, oh, okay, so it's really more about confidence. The message is Batman, but the message is really about having confidence. Does that make sense? And so as you're learning to tune into it, it unfolds in such a beautiful way. You get more detail. Like you might see a mermaid and be like, okay, what does this represent? And then all of a sudden there's more detail to the mermaid. She's
Yeah.
pink or green, or,
Yeah.
and so
Slowly over time.
slowly it
Yeah.
develops into these new, and you're like, oh, isn't that interesting? Oh, look, she's holding things now. Oh, that's really cool. But it just takes time. It just takes time for it to come. So just be willing to try is what I'm hearing, is just be willing to try. Give yourself
Yeah.
permission. Yeah.
So I pulled cards for the collective.
Woohoo!
Um, so I'm going to talk about the first one that I pulled is the golden orange dragon. And it is about expanding your light for ascension. It's being a peaceful warrior, helping those in need, and remembering that you are magnificent. When I tuned into this card, right, what I saw and what I was really with the books. And then this again reminds me of the journal. Like right away, I was like,
Mhm.
this is journaling. This is writing down your thoughts. This feels like manifesting as well, manifestation. So when you're manifesting visions, right? But writing your thoughts because your thoughts are very powerful. So keeping the journal, tracking your spiritual growth, like what Dawn has talked about, right? And what we had shared, keeping that journal and using it because it's very important for you to track your growth, helping your mind feel safe, or what they're using specifically is the word ego, helping your ego feel safe. Um, and so this card, again for the collective, and feel free to chime in, Don, if you feel
Oh
anything
yeah.
about this
So
card and the
as
energy
soon
too.
as that came up, my theme song started playing, This Little Light of Mine, I'm Gonna Let It Shine. And I was like, oh, it's all about community. It's all about allowing yourself to play, to practice, to be safe in community, and to as you dabble, other people are going to dabble, and you're going to find people that you work with. So it's very exciting. Okay, Michelle wants to move to the next card, so
Oh
we'll
no
go.
no 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 no! I'm just tuning into the energy. I love when you talk about community because last week, we talked about Pluto moving into
Oh yeah,
Aquarius,
yeah,
moving in from Capricorn energy into a community energy, right?
yeah.
So I
Well,
love
and
that you
what's
mentioned that. Yes.
as we move, as we continue to move deeper into 2025, we're our ability to exchange information with our gifts is going to heighten, it's going to increase, it's going to expand, which is another one of the things that I'm super duper excited about. Um, because it just feels like it's just that natural progression of evolution. But again, my light sees your light, together we ignite, and then we ignite the world. It's that whole big, oh, it just is so yummy, yummy, yummy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and practicing, right? Yeah, so
Yeah.
Lauren say, heck yeah, community, definitely that's where we're going for the next 20 years, 20-ish years. Practicing with a partner really gives you confidence,
Yeah.
100%. If you can
Mhm.
find a partner in this group, find a partner somewhere else, practice. If you want to practice with us or like want us to help you find a partner, reach out to us.
Yeah.
We're happy to get it all set up. I always offer this practice, and we're going to do Reiki shares for our students we're allowing them to practice, and you can practice your Reiki. We'll see where that goes with that, but we are really trying to foster community where everybody can be in community and practice so we can hone our skills and help us feel more confident. Because again, Rome wasn't built in a day. That was what the message came through. So remember that, right? You are magnificent, but we all start with a single seed. So, and then, we'll sprout little, like seedlings, right? So know that, right? Don't worry, because I know a lot of us remember how powerful we are and we want to like bring that all in. It will happen. We just have to have it evolve and learn the lessons, and learn how to, more importantly, the message is that a lot of us, have lived in very higher dimensions in different planets, in different star system, different realms. But operating on earth is a unique skill altogether, and that really is the learning. How do we transform all of this, right, that we get from source or higher realms, and wisdom that we get from our higher realms, and gifts, right, into a much denser vibration here on earth in a way that will help the collective humans, right? So that's the message.
Yeah.
Do you have something to
It's
add,
that
Don?
whole yeah, it's that whole ascension process. And what's so unique about where we are, when you were comparing it to, otherworldly or outside of our world type of thing, it's what's happening for us now is most of the time we came from the higher frequencies, and we came down into the densities. And the
Mm,
experience that we're having this time is we're down, and we're trying to come up. And so it's a completely different experience. And so as humans upon Mother Earth, this is such an exciting time for many different souls, because we're in the process of really moving and shaking and bringing that elevation up in our own little worlds. And yes, it's kind of like an ocean wave. It kind of comes up on shore, and then it comes back, and it comes up on shore. But we're doing it. We're all working in our own frequencies with that, and it's very, very beautiful. So I digress.
No, no, you're good. This is good. Um, Second card again, right? It feels
Ooh,
like it's very much it's the Alpha Dragon.
ooh,
Harness the divine masculine power of
yes,
creation.
ooh,
Right? I love your yes,
beautiful.
because it's
Yes,
creation. It's this creation energy, it's a masculine energy of creating, right? And it is about destroying the old. Very much into this
yes,
Aquarius energy, right?
yeah,
Destroying the old, visualize your dreams. I told you it was manifestation, right?
mhm,
Visualize your dreams and help to manifest. But the word I'm hearing is create. Help to create a new world.
yes,
So
absolutely.
the alpha dragon, or like in this case, the black dragon, obsidian dragon. That's the word that came in. But this dragon is here for a lot of us. It is here. Some of it is standing at the wings, not coming in right away. Some of you are already working with a similar type of energy. But what it's here, what this dragon specifically, the energy is here to do is to help us create a new world. We are now in this age, right, of Aquarius.
Yeah,
We get to create this golden age. It's however we want it to be. So let's make it a good
yeah,
one. Okay.
and it's
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what its
So
energy is getting.
yeah, and that dark masculine is really interesting. It's an
I
interesting
love the dark
concept on
masculine.
it, because
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's about it's about being able to go deeper. It's about being able to go higher. It's about the type of connection. It's not like, passing someone on the street and saying, "Oh, hi, how you doing?" and having an acquaintance. It's about having that deep, strong bond, that those personal
Mm,
relationships, that you are held, you are seen, you are felt, you are safe, and this is your person. And it's about
yeah.
bringing more of that into all of your relationships and your entire world. And it's just a new way of living, and
Yeah.
it's so beautiful, so beautiful.
There's a lot of galactic energy. I work with
Yeah.
a black masculine dragon, which is entirely black and very, very ancient. And so the energy, this reminds me sort of like that energy is a very
Mhm,
galactic energy, a very
mhm,
ancient energy. Um, an energy that saw the start of creation, the creation
mhm.
of worlds. And this is the energy that's coming in
It's
for us, our
yeah, it's
collective.
almost like the void right at the inception is it goes all the way back.
Exactly,
The
exactly,
void right
exactly.
at
That is
inception.
this
Yeah.
dragon, the energy saw the creation of worlds
Yes.
and
Exactly.
systems. Exactly, 100%. And this
Yeah.
dragon is here to help us, humanity, right
Yes.
now on Earth,
Yes.
humankind, with this creation of the new world. Because it's all
Yeah.
about creation energy. We are moving, right? We just moved into Aquarius, so shifting of energy. They keep saying, we get to create what we want, right? This is an opportunity to create our vision. So make it a good one. It keeps repeating it. Make it a good one. So make the next 20 years
And be very
the
mindful about what you ask for. Be
yes,
very mindful
yes,
about what you
yes.
ask for.
Make it the
Um,
best of what you want, the world you
yeah.
want to live in, the family you want to live in, the neighborhood you want to live in, the home you want to live in, the
Yeah.
business you want to have, the dreams, the career, all of that, right? What do you want,
Yeah.
right? So this is a very ancient energy, it's very, very deep. So I want to honor this. And yeah, it's here for
Yeah.
us. The other
Super
card
yummy. Ooh.
that that came out, right, is I've been pulling this card for a lot of people. Actually, it's kind of interesting. It's coming up a lot. It is the aquamarine dragon from Neptune,
Ooh.
water energy. It allows us, this dragon helps us access our deepest soul wisdom. And the message for you is spirituality and wisdom are available to you to develop your psychic abilities and tap into infinite wisdom. This is again about intuition and flow. I feel very much intuition and flow, but I was also really drawn to the little ones, the little tiny ones. Do you know what they mean, John? Can you feel
Are
into
they,
it to see what this is?
oh,
They're
are they
little tiny ones. Yeah,
little
they're little
baby
babies,
dragons? Oh,
right?
like little seahorses?
Yeah, little seahorses. They're not dragons, there's little
Yeah.
seahorses, but
So,
they're
because
dragons.
yeah, as soon as you brought up the aquamarine, I immediately went down with Poseidon. I was like, I'm with Poseidon right now. I am like Little Mermaid. That's what I was like.
These what
Um,
I yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
so yeah, so for me, it's really about feeling the feels and being in the feels and honoring all the aspects. Because through the discovery and allowing yourself to immerse yourself into those feelings, that's what is going to catapult us into um, the next chapters, the next way of being, the next community based frequencies is the only way I can describe it, a community-based
Yeah,
frequency.
yeah.
And which is why I was like part of, and I don't know the whole Little Mermaid story, but it's a school of fish, right? It's groupings of a community, and it just feels really spectacular to me. My heart is like singing in ways that it hasn't sung in a long time. Go ahead, jump in. Yeah, jump in.
Yeah, I was gonna say, right? So I saw this card right away. I was attracted because each time the energy is different. I'm attracted to different things in a card.
Mhm.
Attracted to this, little seahorses. And then but I
Mhm.
couldn't, I not the information's not coming in. And so I'm just explaining this to give you an example of how you can do it. Right. I tune into the energy of the seahorses. I ask, what is the message here? And so I actually asked the card, right? Tune to the energy of seahorses, focus on it. And then I was like, what is the message here? And exactly what you said, Don. They were like, these are, so initially they said for some people, these are like little offers. These are different messages. So you are the middle. You as in everyone here on this call, if this card calls to you, you are the one in the middle. You are the leader. You hold the key to your own. You are given, not you hold, you're given, and you were given. You came to this earth with the key already, the key to your soul wisdom. And these could be little offers that you offer, right? That are here, attracting your people. They could be little messages. And then one of the energy came through, especially when you said the community, 100%. These could be your little, these are like your audience, your people in the community. It depends.
Mhm.
You get to decide what you are creating. And then these are sort of like your little offers, your little messages, your nuggets of wisdom, your branding, your audience that follow you. The energy really
Oh,
is here for you to step up as that leader that you are, because you are in the middle. Make
oh,
no mistake. That's what they want to
yeah.
say. You are not the leader, seahorses. You, people watching this call and in the replay, right? You are the leader. You're the one holding the key. So
That's
yeah.
awesome. Yeah. So when I see the dragon, I because you were moving it around and I'm looking on my phone. But I was seeing the dragon in the middle because you kept drawing my attention to it. I'm seeing that as the infinity symbol. And then I
Oh,
was
love it.
like, yeah. And so I was like, okay, so it's breaking apart or it's breaking through. And then seahorses to me, because I was like, oh, the seahorses. I just did some research on seahorses recently, and it's the only species where the female
Yes, the male. Yeah,
impregnates the male, right? And so, well, she passes the eggs on to the
yeah,
male
the
who
eggs. Yep.
holds them. And I was like, oh, it's a new community. It's all about that new community that we've been talking about. And I was just like, oh, this is so cool. But it's like, yeah, the infinity is like, okay, things are going to, the way things are going to we're going to have breakthroughs with the infinity symbol, and then there's a new way of being with the representation of the seahorses. But that's me liking things.
No, no, again, right? This is for you.
Yeah,
Elisa says, feminine rising.
yeah.
100%. So this again, right? It is you tuning into what the seahorse mean because you remember. And I love it when Lauren was like, "Oh, Lauren's really tuning in. Lauren is working with the alpha or black dragon already." And so she's like, "This is a confirmations card." And then she's also packing aquamarines crystals right now as we speak
Oh,
into her kit. So she was like really plugged in. So let's see. The very last card, and I pulled this card several times too, and I love it, is a dark blue galactic dragon. We have two
mm,
galactic dragons card already. The alpha dragon is very galactic. The alpha black dragon is really galactic. This is another galactic card. And this is about helping you listen to the voice of the universe. Pairs very well with the aquamarine, which is all about intuition and flow, right? So listen to the voice of the universe. Voice again doesn't have to be like clear audience. Voice can be messages, however you are receiving. Could be feelings, visions, dreams, but listen, because the universe is constantly
mm,
communicating with you. One of the things in the message I'm getting is like now that we have moved into Aquarius, even though Pluto is slow moving, right? Um, there's going to be a lot of awakening, a lot of ascension. You may notice already your skills are just going to expand. It's going to expand even more. 2025 is going to be a very attractive, a very interesting year because I'm feeling the
mhm.
energy feels like it's a lot of expansion, abundance. There's something about 2025 that it's going to be a good year for all of us who choose to take on the call of listening to your inner compass and the universe. And so this is it's igniting the codes of your master blueprint. Your master blueprint, the energy I'm feeling is your soul code, your soul essence. Interestingly, Dot and I actually did a free in February, a free download. We did a free healing on,
Yeah,
we call it the soul code ascension or soul code activation.
so
So
cold
this just
activation.
reminded
Yeah,
me. Yeah, if you
yeah.
have not received it,
We should put that back
please,
in our
yeah,
group.
we
Yeah,
should, yes, receive
pin it.
it because that soul code activation was like
Yeah,
was very
big,
powerful.
big.
And this goes really well. And if you have received it, and you have the link to it, rewatch it because you can
Yeah.
watch it many, many times. But the message is the advice is to watch it before 2025. Watch it and then set your New Year resolution because we are bringing in this galactic energy
Mhm.
to help us master the blueprint. What you're going to start remembering in 2025 and beyond, right? Is that great awakening, you are going to start remembering, like your intuition is going to come in stronger. You are going to start remembering or have dreams or visions or hearing to your soul family, your galactic, your goddess, your whatever, right? I'm feeling a lot of galactic energy as well.
A lot
Your
of galactic.
angelic,
Yeah,
a lot of galactic, right?
yeah,
You're going to awaken to your galactic, like your galactic lineage. They're
yeah.
coming in now. Yeah.
Yeah, and so as you were speaking through all of that, Michelle, I heard the na 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 na
Batman.
na Batman. And again, it's about allowing, being that antenna. Even if you don't understand what's coming in, that's okay because the downloads are coming in and they will be revealed. It's building blocks. It's like when you build a house, there's a foundation that comes in. And that's what's happening right now for a lot of people is that foundation is coming in, it's being built. And it's okay if you don't see anything yet because it's all happening underground. It's all happening down there. That foundation is coming in. And then as we continue through 2025, then that structure is going to be built
Yeah.
upon that
Yeah.
beautiful foundation.
Yeah.
It's just so exciting.
Don't worry. For some people who are, because we are all on different paths, right? We are
Yeah.
all called to do different things and we are all on different paths. So for some, you start already downloading, working with the dragons, working with your galactic family, you may already feel them. For others, healing. healing to clear, so you expand more and be a clearer channel to receive. So it's perfect. We're all exactly where we're supposed to be. Everything in divine alignment, and give yourself compassion if you're like, why is this not happening faster? Right?
It will.
It will. It's clearing, releasing some of those blocks you may have, past life, ancestors, generational, uh, inner child, right? A lot of those
Mhm.
conditioning, collective, sometimes just a couple of shifts. I don't know about you, Don, but it took me years. It took me about 2 years of clearing, healing myself before I was ready to even open up to receive messages because I had so much self-doubt. I had
Yeah.
unworthiness problems. I
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
think I was worthy. I didn't think I could do this, and I had all these limiting beliefs about myself and a lot of self-doubt. And so it was really, really hard. I felt like I was struggling with myself the entire time. And that's okay because that just means we treat ourselves with compassion. We
Mhm.
heal those wounds bit by bit by bit. And then we call that part back to ourselves, right? I like to call that soul retrieval. We bring those parts back to ourselves, heal and whole, so that we can feel complete. And then we are like ready to
Yeah.
start our journey or, to
Yeah.
become the masters that we all are. So
Yeah.
this card is calling us into higher service. But this feels like this is, again, very much part of this new energy we're moving to 20 years. Some of it will come faster, some of it will come slower, but it's calling you into higher service. Whatever the service is for you. All of us have a different purpose. But I love this. Yeah, listening to the voice of the universe. Oh, the other message that came through is you are going to start remembering or feeling more of your soul lineage. So for some,
Mhm.
it will be some of it will be elemental. You may feel like, oh, you have fairy lineage that's coming through first for you. Others may feel starseed, galactic, others may feel angelic. For me, I actually like for me it was angelic and then elemental came in first. The galactic was the very last one. So, and I think for Dawn it was perhaps galactic first. I don't
Ah!
know. Was it galactic?
Yeah, I don't know. I knew that there was an attraction to the galactic, but again, because I was so shut down, I was like, that visual of someone pushing a rock up a hill, a boulder up a hill. That's what I thought my spiritual work was like. For me trying to get messages was me trying to push that thing up the mountain. And then I was like, no, I got to change. I got to change that thought process. And then I became the little engine that could, right? I'm like, there's got to be a better way to do this. And so then I started slowing down. So it really is your own path is unique in ways that your soul wants to experience growth. So just embrace it and give yourself permission to take your time and do the best that you can and just kind of have fun with it because we all try so hard and we work so hard that the world needs more joy. The world needs
Oh my
more joy.
God,
And
yes.
this should be fun. This should be the fun part. This should be the fun part, receiving the messages. It's not always, I mean, look at the message I got about Batman, right? It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to always be healing work. It can be fun
Actually,
stuff
yeah.
too.
Okay,
Absolute fun
yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
exactly. And the healing actually is fun. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know, but like
Some,
I
some
think like the people who come to us have a lot of fun in our sessions. I
yeah.
mean, they cry, but we also have a lot of laughs, right? Crying is a form of release, right? Laughing. So people cry at the start and then they laugh at the end. To me, I'm like, that's a good day.
That's a good day. Yeah.
That's
And
a
when I
good
get people
day.
on the
So
Reiki table, I'm like, if you fall asleep, that's okay too.
yeah, yeah. And so I'm like, that's okay,
Yeah.
but
It all
that's
works. It's all
it's
good.
healing is still, it feels so good because then you
Yeah.
release that burden and the baggage, and then you make room for new stuff. And so yeah, so I am feeling guided actually to do something really short, like a because tomorrow is Thanksgiving in America, here in the United
Ooh.
States. So Thanksgiving is the time, like I don't know about you, but it can be really stressful, right? Buying stuff, your in-laws are visiting, your family's visiting, you're hosting, all the stuff, right? Travel, all the stuff. So I don't know. I'm just feeling really called to do a really, really quick one, kind of like to send us on our way. right, to infuse this container with this beautiful galactic, we have a lot of galactic, angelic, and also elemental energy. So if you feel, and Dom, feel free to chime in. It's going to be really quick. We're just going to send good energy along the way. So you can just close your eyes, all and take a nice deep breath in. You don't have to do anything. We're just going to call in always that protection from the gold dragon coming in, forming a circle of protection, yellow flames, yellow and golden flames all around. Imagining this flame going all around and upwards, forming a dome of protection. We are creating a shield. This is an angelic shield. It's a shield of protection for us, protection for your space. And I want you to just sense for your imagine, just breathing in this beautiful shield, forming this dome around us. We're going to bring this energy down so it forms a circle. It's complete, is unity. We form this circle down into the earth that you are on, clearing, releasing any tense energy, any worry, any sadness. Feel a lot of tense energy, and that could be because of the stress. We're releasing that, allowing you to feel the sense of calm. We're bringing this beautiful energy now all around circle of protection, setting the intention right now. We're infusing the space you are in, inviting in white. It's very white galactic energy and it's showing up as almost sparkles coming into the space you're in, the space we're all in. We're inviting an elemental energy. This elemental energy is showing up almost like a fairy energy. And this fairy energy feels playful. It's about playfulness, to not forget to have fun, to not forget to have joy, to find the fun and joy and positivity in anything in the next few days. We're going to set the intention this energy is going to go with you. So just soak it in. This floral and plant energy as well is part of the elemental. You can just imagine that energy circling through you. You may feel, for some of you, you're almost like flowers and vines encircling you. I'm just going to soak in this beautiful energy, setting on the intention. Again, peace, serenity, joy, comfort. Don, do you have anything you would like to add to this?
No, I'm just channeling light language behind, and it feels, I'm feeling a lot of movement in the throat area, releasing restrictions, and the ability to really speak your true heart's desires, but your feelings in a kind way also throughout the season, and giving yourself permission to ride the waves of love which are so prevalent during the holiday season, and just allow them to become a part of who you are and where you're at, and carry those with you through the next few weeks, through to the end of the
Yeah,
year and beyond.
yeah. And so we're just going to encase you now in this beautiful shield of protection, the shield protection. It actually looks like a dragon egg. That's what I am sensing. It's like a little dragon egg. And so it's beautiful because a little dragon egg means you're going to hatch, right? It's going to hatch. But right now, this is a shield of protection for you. For some of you, that rest is really important. For some of you, you need this protection. And setting that intention, right? If there's any energy, collective or otherwise, any energy that's coming into your world as you travel, as you spend time with friends and family, if there's any energy that doesn't serve you, any energy that makes you, yeah, that makes you feel sad or angry or anxious or worry, all of that, setting the intention that it bounces off you, it dissolves right as it almost touches you. It doesn't, you don't soak it in because of the shield of protection. Again, this is an angelic protection from the gold dragon. Okay. We're sealing up this energy, sending all the good vibes. You are blessed, and may you be on your way. Okay. Do you have anything else you want to add, Tom?
Ooh, it was just really beautiful energy, and it was um, sorry, I had it and I lost it. It's about honoring yourself first, not in a selfish way, but when or if things become uh, overwhelming, you can come back into this energy to ground yourself again, to refocus yourself, and just the thought of reconnecting with it is enough to shift and change. And I saw the dragons coming in full force, kind of being very protective of this bubble, this egg that we're in, and seeing so there was like certain negative energies that were being bounced, and I saw the fire dragon go, not today,
Yeah,
not today,
yeah,
and it was really beautiful.
yeah,
So thank you,
yeah.
dragons,
Thank you,
for that
thank you.
beautiful protection.
I do want to say, in that visualization, someone in this group watching the replay, the message is not even just someone. There's a few of you feels like, you're Celtic goddesses because with the elemental came in, I saw it came in, it wrapped around some people, and then you had horns, but it's all like you, and so it was Celtic, very like Celtic goddess energy. There's a like forest goddess energy because with the plants and the floral, that was what I saw.
Mhm.
So it feels important to tell you because it feels like that is honoring. Like some of us have really strong leaning
Yes.
or I should say attachment. We identify really strongly with perhaps the angelic realm. I do. Other people, identify very strongly with galactic realm, be it Lyrian, be it Orion, and others very much elemental, like fairies, elven, elves, or other kinds, right? Or like mermaid energy. I don't even know if they're elemental, but
Yeah,
but
they're
um
elemental.
they're elemental. Okay, yeah.
Mhm.
And so yeah, some of us identify very, very strongly with dragons too. And so that is the message to honor that because it feels like that energy is coming through for you. It's a very like uh magic galactic, not galactic, I'm sorry, elemental forest, like forest energy, forest goddess. That's why I use the word
Yeah,
Celtic goddess.
yeah,
So that will
yeah,
be fun.
yeah. But it's also about grounding into Mother Earth too to help bring forth. So I mean, as above, so below, kind of. It's
Exactly,
beautiful.
exactly.
Yeah,
That
it's very
energy for
beautiful.
some of you,
Yeah.
yeah, that energy is also that very grounding, right? That protection
Mhm.
of Mother Earth protecting. But
Yeah.
yeah, so thank you again. Thank you for taking time to hang out with us before Thanksgiving. So
Yes, thank
yeah, we
you.
wish you well. Have a very, very good holiday.
Yes, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Have a great day.
Have a great one.